Yo, welcome back, people. Welcome back. I am Asher, aka Kanjo, and today we are looking at 10 times WWE turned treasure into trash by WrestleLamia. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to them. Make sure you subscribe to me. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you comment down below, and make sure you turn on your notification button so every time I post, you know. Yeah. Cool, we're gonna get into it real quick, no dilly-dallying, straight in there, let's go.
Throughout WWE's extensive history, the company has been known to drop the ball on certain wrestlers and storylines. These stories were literally gold mines for WWE, but due to stubbornness as well as lazy writing, they missed a huge opportunity to create compelling TV and in turn reap the financial rewards. Join us now as WrestleLamia looks at 10 times WWE turned treasure into trash. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new channel, WrestleLamia Shorts.
I wonder who will be on this list. I'm not too sure who will be on this list.
Number 10, Taz in WWE.
Okay.
Former ECW star Taz made his official WWE debut at the 2000 Royal Rumble.
This debut was cold, very cold. Kurt Angle was undefeated from November 1999 up until January 2000. Taz was in ECW. Obviously, he came out of his contract from ECW, signed with WWE, and there was vignettes, like randomly, Raw and SmackDown, you'll see like a guy, like you see in this video, with a towel over his head. People thought it was The Undertaker. And then at the Royal Rumble, Kurt Angle issued up a open challenge. And then out of nowhere, you hear these heartbeats. And then Taz comes out of his flannel on his head. Bopping. Yeah. But yeah, that's all he's got to say about it.
Rumble in front of a sold-out Madison Square Garden. Taz would choke out Kurt Angle in his debut match, and in the process, he looked like an absolute megastar who could have instantly been propelled into the main event scene.
Facts.
Unfortunately, they rather quickly pulled the rug from under him, and he would drop heavily down the card, so much so that at WrestleMania 16, he would be in a battle royal for the hardcore title. Taz could have easily been in the hunt for WWE's top prize, or at the very least be competing for the Intercontinental title with the likes of Angle, Chris Jericho, and Chris Benoit.
Facts. Big facts.
According to legendary commentator Jim Ross on his podcast, WWE, well, specifically Vince McMahon, stopped pushing Taz after several complaints that he was dangerous. Number 9, Sting arrives in WWE. At long last, Survivor Series in 2014 saw the WWE debut of Sting. This was a magical moment, and it seemed like it would never happen. And now that WWE had one of the biggest wrestlers of all time on...
A big missed opportunity would have been Sting versus The Undertaker at a WrestleMania. Granted, the magic may have disappeared because of how long it's been, but prime Sting and prime Undertaker, you see Undertaker in 2007, yeah, versus Sting from like TNA in that era, that would have been cold. Or 2007 Undertaker versus, I don't know, 1998 or 1999 Sting, that would have been...
On the roster, fans instantly pushed online to see Sting collide with The Undertaker.
Facts.
This had been a dream match for several decades, but instead they decided to book Sting versus Triple H for WrestleMania 31. What was particularly frustrating about this was that Sting and the Deadman were both on the WrestleMania card and both were healthy, so there was no reason why they couldn't have delivered the match. The match was a true moneymaker, and there were still opportunities for WWE to deliver the match in the second half of 2015, but they outright refused, and the match will now unfortunately never take place.
To be fair though, like, even if they face each other at that WrestleMania 31, it was the WrestleMania after Undertaker just lost to Brock Lesnar, so the streak wasn't a thing anymore. Like, even if they face each other, the streak didn't matter. So if The Undertaker lost, it wouldn't be a big, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, that was a big missed opportunity, not gonna lie.
Number 8, Kurt Angle's retirement. WrestleMania 35 was set to be an emotional event as one of the greatest of all time, Kurt Angle, was retiring from WWE. When this was initially announced, there was rampant speculation on who exactly Angle would face. There were rumors ranging from Taker to John Cena, with Cena being the overwhelming favorite amongst fans. However, when Angle announced that he'd be retiring against Baron Corbin, fans were really disappointed. Fans had zero interest in the match, and a strong portion of the WWE fanbase were actually convinced that they were actually set to pull a swerve. Sadly, there was no swerve, and Corbin would go on to defeat Angle in a total bore of a retirement match. Angle has since spoken at length about how disappointed he was with the match, and during an interview with the 8 of the K Wrestling show, Angle stated that he was even pushing to face Cena in his final match.
Vince decided to put Baron Corbin in Jason's position. I didn't know I was going to retire at WrestleMania, but I felt like I was losing a step. I wasn't able to be the Kurt Angle that I expected myself to be. So I decided I was going to retire at that WrestleMania against Baron. But I called Vince and I said, listen, no disrespect to Baron. I love the kid. I think he's talented as heck. But I really love the wrestler John Cena. Vince said, you know what? No, because you're doing a program with Baron Corbin. You have to finish this program.
Number 7, Jericho. When the WWE implemented a brand new brand split in the summer 2016, Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens quickly formed a close bond over Raw.
Yeah.
This bond developed into one of the most exciting partnerships of the past decade, and it became the highlight of Raw each week. The two had natural chemistry as a duo, and it only seemed fitting that when they eventually disbanded, that they would have a featured match at WrestleMania in what in all likelihood should have been a main event matchup. Instead, they decided to have Goldberg win the Universal title on the road to WrestleMania, and Jericho and Owens would be now for the US title at WrestleMania 33 in the second match on the show. This was incredibly disappointing, mainly because their character arcs revolved around the Universal title, so now they were wrestling for a prize that had little to do with their storyline. WWE dropped the ball with a major money match, and everyone knew it, including Jericho, who was so infuriated by WWE's handling of the storyline that it influenced his decision to join AEW. Number 6, Hulk Hogan in 2002. It was great to see Hulk Hogan back in 2002, presented like the legend he was, and it was clear, judging by the crowd response, that everyone was ready to see Hogan wrestle in the WWE ring again. WWE would book Hogan to take on The Rock at WrestleMania 18, and whilst the match was excellent, there was a considerable amount of money to be made by booking Hogan versus Stone Cold Steve Austin in a dream match. There were several reasons why this didn't happen, but WWE had numerous opportunities to deliver the match.
Hey, man. Hey, listen. Yeah? Rock and Hulk Hogan should have stayed how it was. Stone Cold versus Hulk Hogan could have been done at SummerSlam or something. It's not that deep. But looking at this clip here, Ric Flair is probably second in the bestseller of the Stone Cold Stunner. Let's go back and look at it. Yeah, look.
Stone Cold Steve Austin in a dream match. There were several reasons why this didn't happen, but WWE had numerous opportunities to deliver the match after WrestleMania 18, but it never materialized. Hogan's 2002 stint could have been something special, but Hogan was overexposed extremely quickly and the character became stale. Hogan won the WWE title at Backlash, which was a controversial move as he defeated fellow babyface Triple H for the gold, and this led to some fans believing that they were going backwards instead of forwards. Hogan would then lose several times, including losing the WWE title to The Undertaker in a total dud of a match, and he even put over Brock Lesnar. Hogan should have been kept as an attraction, but instead they ran him into the ground, and it definitely hindered his once illustrious drawing power. Number 5, Triple H vs Randy Orton in 2009. The WWE had been known to create a red-hot storyline and then failed to deliver a satisfying conclusion. This was most definitely the case with the 2009 feud between Triple H and Randy Orton. The feud began with Orton taking out the McMahon family, and when Orton set his eyes on Stephanie McMahon, this led to Triple H interjecting himself in the feud. This was a great blend of WWE storytelling combined with the real-life relationship, as on-screen Triple H and Stephanie had been divorced for 7 years, but WWE decided to flat-out ignore this element of continuity. The storyline was what every wrestling fan was talking about, and even fans from the Attitude Era were once again tuning in into the WWE product. Heading into WrestleMania 25, fans expected an absolute war between the two bitter rivals. Instead, they delivered a lackluster main event, which was the quality of a Raw and SmackDown match. was a total letdown, and WWE had missed a huge chance to deliver something memorable and a golden chance to keep those classic fans watching the product.
But to be fair to them, Shawn Michaels and Undertaker was the match before, and that was literally the best match of all time. So to go on after Shawn Michaels and Undertaker after that performance is a heavy duty and a heavy task to complete. So I can understand why it may have felt underwhelming. Like, the match may not have been like, the match could have been amazing, but because of what happened before, the energy from the audience, the crowd, people at home, they're not going to be as invested because of what they've just seen prior. You know what I mean? So it's not really their fault.
Triple H and Orton like to blame Taker and Shawn Michaels for stealing the show, but this does little to justify why they dropped the ball so badly. The feud would carry on after WrestleMania 25, but the magic was gone. Those fans who switched back into the product had left in droves, and the regular WWE viewers were left disgruntled and frustrated. Number 4, Rusev Day. In 2017, Rusev Day took the wrestling world by storm. Rusev Day was a pairing consisting of Rusev and Aiden English, and it was the most entertaining thing on SmackDown. The gimmick was simple in nature, as Rusev and English would claim that every day was Rusev Day. The fans adored it. They would chant it throughout the show, and the Rusev Day t-shirt would become one of the top-selling t-shirts in the entire company. WWE had money staring them in the face, but they outright refused to acknowledge the success of the duo, and there were even rumors of them manipulating crowd noise to edit out the chants. According to Road Dogg on his podcast, one of the reasons why Vince McMahon had no interest in capitalizing on the immense popularity of Rusev Day was because he wasn't a fan of English's look. Number 3, The Hurt Business. Vince McMahon has made some creative blunders over the years, and one of these was without a doubt breaking up The Hurt Business.
Yeah, facts.
The Hurt Business was a
Facts.
stable consisting of Lashley, MVP, Shelton Benjamin, and Cedric Alexander, and the stable felt fresh and brought something new to the landscape of
Facts.
Raw. The four bonded as well, as they were real-life friends, and it also gave Benjamin and Alexander something substantial to do. The stable should have dominated WWE, and there was so much money to be made by presenting this group of talented stars as the biggest thing in the company. But it was McMahon who made the call to break up the stable, as he reportedly had no interest in pushing Benjamin and Alexander. They attempted to reform the group several times, but each time it's fallen flat. They captured lightning in a bottle with their inaugural run, and if McMahon did make such a terrible creative choice, then the stable could have been a group that could have carried WWE into the future.
100%.
Number 2,
But I like what they're doing now with the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley. I feel like I don't want to stereotype it and then put him in a box and be like, yeah, go get Carmelo Hayes, go get Trick Williams and put him in there too. But it makes sense. Like, even with Carmelo Hayes' attire, his ring gear, it looks like the OG Hurt Business logo. Like, I don't know. I think Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes will be a great addition to the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley. But, you know, we'll see.
Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey. When Lynch won the 2019 Women's Rumble, it seemed like a certainty that she would challenge Ronda Rousey for the Raw Women's title at WrestleMania 35. There was a ton of hype for the match, and when it was made official, fans were elated. Unfortunately, they had to ruin one of the most anticipated matches in recent memory by needlessly adding Charlotte Flair into the mix. The segment which saw WWE add Flair into their WrestleMania match is one of the WWE's most detested YouTube videos ever, with over 80,000 dislikes. WWE had completely butchered a money match for the women's division, and to make things worse, they would overcomplicate the match itself. Instead of a standard triple threat for the Raw Women's title, they would have Asuka drop the SmackDown Women's title to Flair, so the match became a winner-takes-all matchup. Lynch versus Rousey was a big-time match that warranted a main event slot.
Facts.
However, the addition of Flair killed virtually all the hype for the match. They ruined what could have been potentially been the most financially successful women's match in company history. And number 1, The Invasion.
Oh my
It's well
days.
documented just how
The Invasion. To be fair, let me get into this one, yeah? To be fair, because I remember vividly, in my younger years, watching the Invasion angle and being so gassed, right? What they should have done, well, I can't say what they should have done because I'm not in creative, I'm not in a management role in WWE or whatever, yeah? But what I think they should have done is waited at least 2 years 2 years, right? Yeah, should have waited 2 years to sit out all the contracts, bring up all like Kevin Nash, Goldberg, Scott Hall, bring up all those guys, Sting, and then go in with the invasion angle. Not just do it straight away, because not everyone could be involved in the invasion angle. You didn't have the big time rivals or big time fights that you would have imagined to have, like Stone Cold versus Goldberg, or Sting versus Undertaker, or the NWO versus DX. You're not gonna get that. Triple H was out. Like, you know what I mean? But let's see what he has to say.
Badly, WWE botched the Invasion storyline. When they acquired WCW in 2001, it only seemed fitting that they would present a WWE versus WCW storyline, but due to contract issues, they only had a limited number of top WCW talents to work with. These talents included the likes of Booker T and DDP, but to deliver a full-on Invasion storyline, more top stars were going to be needed. This led to them booking the Invasion storyline as an overcomplicated mess, as a strong portion of the WCW side of the story ended up consisting of talent who were WWE wrestlers. Whilst the actual Invasion pay-per-view was a huge financial success, if they had waited until the summer of 2002, they could have had an actual full-blown WWE versus WCW war. By the summer of 2002, they had the likes of Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and even Rey Mysterio under contract. They also had the likes of Triple H and Shawn Michaels back in the ring, so it could have been a huge monetary gain for WWE. WWE just refused to wait it out, and instead they delivered a lazily executed invasion story that was full of nonsensical and tiresome booking. But there you have it, folks. 10 times.
Hey man, that was a great video. Great video. Gave all my thoughts and opinions all the way through that. Make sure you like, comment, drop down below what you think WWE's turn treasure into trash moment was. Yeah, get it on from there. Make sure you subscribe, turn your post notifications. And as always, love is love. Wash your tings. And we out. Peace. Yeet. That was a terrible yeet. That was a yeet. 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 Yeet.